My op-ed today that I published over at HartmannReport.com is titled Trickle-Down Fascism, America is Suffering from an Epidemic of Political Bullying. And, you know, Trump dreams of revenge, right? It's what fascists do. And fascism trickles down from fascist leadership. And so, you know, today we've got fascists in the House of Representatives saying, Hunter Biden, we're going to throw you in jail because we want you to testify in a closed room in the basement of the Capitol so that we can go out and tell Fox News viewers anything, just make up any old BS we want about what we say you said. We get to characterize your testimony. But gee, if you want to appear in person, and he's shown up twice now. If you want to appear in person, we're going to try and throw you in jail. This is fascism. This is bullying. This is performative bullying. And that's, this is what Trump was claiming yesterday. His lawyers were claiming in the court that is one step below the Supreme Court, the D.C. Court of Appeals. His lawyers argued that he could have, if he became president again, he could order Joe Biden to be assassinated. He could order Hillary Clinton to be assassinated. And there would be nothing anybody could do about it except if the Senate convicted him if he was impeached by the House and the Senate convicted him and removed him from office, which is nuts and fascist. By the way, the judge, I thought this was breathtaking. Yesterday, the judge said, so you're saying a president could sell pardons, could sell military secrets, could order SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival? Those are her exact words. Sell pardons, sell military secrets. Okay, we are missing a 9-inch thick binder of all of our military secrets and our spies, not all of them, but many of them, and our spies in Russia. We're missing that. This is something that Vladimir Putin would easily pay Donald Trump $100 million, $200 million, $500 million for. So I think it's getting fairly clear that not only did he sell military secrets, but the judge knows that he's sold military secrets. She's probably seen the indictments. Also, he was selling pardons. Rudy Giuliani was bragging to people about the fact that they were selling pardons for $2 million a pop. And there was a whole pile of them from wealthy people in the last 2 days of Trump's presidency. Trickle-down fascism. And more bullying. I mean, for example, when the George Floyd protests were going on in Washington, D.C., suddenly there's, literally thousands of black people marching down Pennsylvania Avenue toward the White House after George Floyd was murdered. And obviously not just black people. There were, in fact, the George Floyd protests were notable because there were as many white people as black people, in some cases more. But in D.C., it was mostly black people. And what did Donald Trump do? He was president at the time. He and his wife and his son went and hid in the bunker underneath the White House, down, some 4 stories down or whatever. When one of his staffers leaked that to the press, that Trump was hiding in the bunker from the black people out there protesting George Floyd's killing, he demanded to know who it was and said he wanted that person executed. Executed. That's the word he used. Executed. When he organized his Bible photo op at the church across the street from Lafayette Square, he demanded that General Mark Milley have the troops put bayonets on their rifles and point guns with live ammunition at protesters. Mark Milley said, no, I won't do it. And the next time, there won't be a Mark Milley there. There'll be somebody who is a Trump toady, and they will do this. They will repeat Kent State if Trump becomes president. On January 6th, Trump tried to bully Mike Pence into making him dictator for life. When that failed, he tried to have Pence murdered. And now he's at it again, trying to crank up his well-armed bullies, his followers, to take out President Biden. Yesterday morning, on his Nazi-infested social media site, Trump texted, Joe would be ripe for indictment. If I don't get immunity, then crooked Joe Biden doesn't get immunity. By weaponizing the DOJ against his political opponent, me, Joe has opened a giant Pandora's box. Right. He's told us he wants to build concentration camps for millions of people, his word, including his political enemies, his word, and that he will root out, his phrase, those people he calls, quote, the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country. a speech presumably written by Stephen Miller. Anyhow, who would that be? That would be you and me that he wants to put in his concentration camps. We shouldn't worry about Putin or China or Kim Jong-un attacking the United States, Trump tells us, because Democrats are the real threat to America. Quote, the threat from outside forces is far less sinister, dangerous, and grave than the threat from within. From Trump separating mothers from their children and then trafficking those children through so-called Christian adoption sites, which have now all conveniently just vanished. There's over 1,000 kids still missing. Sold in the United States by the Trump administration. It's like we've lost our ability to have outrage around this. To the swatting of Judge Chutkan and Jack Smith. I mean, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene this morning trying to bully Hunter Biden after, infamously chasing then 17-year-old David Hogg down the street and screaming at him, the Parkland shooting survivor. Jim Jordan trying to bully people who get in front of his committees, particularly if they try to bring up anything about him covering up sexual abuse at the university where he was a wrestling coach. You've got House Committee Chairman Brian Steele demanding Bragg give their committees all the information he's got on Donald Trump. Bragg says, we will not be intimidated. God bless you, Alvin Bragg. Bullying has now become the trademark behavior of the GOP. Why? Because it all started with Donald Trump in 2015, when he started running for president. That was around the time, by the way, 2016 actually, was around the time that Republicans started refusing to appear on my program. We started the show in 2003. And any of you, as anybody who has listened to our program for, more than a decade can tell you, 3, 4, 5 times a week sometimes, we would have Republicans on this program. The signature of my show was debating Republicans, respectfully, reasonably. Well, when Trump became president, they just all said, hey, screw that. We've got our own media bubbles that we'll live in. Yesterday, we learned that the House Republicans under MAGA Mike Johnson are trying to impeach Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, Attorney General Merrick Garland, and now they want to impeach DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. And they want to hold Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress. I mean, bullying flows from the top down. And if we don't take on these bullies, particularly fascist bullies, it's just going to get worse. Europe thought they could deal with the bully Hitler. Neville Chamberlain went over and said, we've peace in our time. We'll negotiate with him. They thought eventually he'll have enough, right? If we just give him part of Czechoslovakia, the Sudetenland, that'll be enough. And then, we'll let him have Austria too. Okay, that's good. And then, but Poland, he wants Poland. All right, we'll give him Poland. At what point do you say no to a bully? Frankly, you should say no to a bully as soon as possible. Bullies don't negotiate. Bullies don't argue in good faith. Bullies just bully. Trump gets pleasure from this. It's one of the few things in life that gives Donald Trump pleasure is causing other people fear and pain. And, the reason why this is important is that the president of the United States, now Trump is no longer president, but he's running for president. The president of the United States establishes the tone for the country. John Kennedy made us all optimistic, right? Bill Clinton turned us into policy wonks. George W. Bush transformed himself from an AWOL drunk into a warrior. Barack Obama established a tone of thoughtful, elegant inclusion and diversity, celebrated around the world. But what Trump told us, what Trump showed us, was that bullying is now cool. And it's going to persist as long as he has a national platform. So, bottom line here, climate scientists are being bullied. It just goes on and on and on. Bottom line here, we need to stand up to these fascist bullies. We need to say no to fascism, say no to Republic. I was so pleased this morning to see Jared Moskowitz and Jamie Raskin this morning in that hearing, standing up to this bully, James Comer, who's been accused of bullying his girlfriend and trying to get her an abortion. Just wacky stuff. But these guys standing up to the bullies. Hunter Biden stood up to the bullies this morning. God bless him. I'm no fan of Hunter Biden. I mean, you know, he's had a rough life and he's screwed up terribly. But he stood up to the bullies this morning. That's good. That's important. We need more of it.